Am I interrupting? Thought you might be running low.
Pour yourself a glass, pal.
Thank you, but I'm afraid it would be wasted on me.
You think we wasted our time coming here, don't you?
Your question depends on me understanding what you hope to achieve by coming here.
What we hope to achieve was to meet our makers, to get answers. Why they even made us in the first place.
Why do you think your people made me?
We made you because we could.
Can you imagine how disappointing it would be for you to hear the same thing from your creator? May I ask you something?
Please do.
How far would you go to get what you came here all this way for? Your answers. What would you be willing to do?
Anything and everything.
Hello everybody, I'm Peter Travers and this is Popcorn, where we tell you what's happening at the movies, and we just showed you a scene from Ridley Scott's Prometheus. I'm saying, not Prometheus, it's Prometheus. And it may or may not be a prequel to Alien, but I know Michael Fassbender, our guest today, is definitely Michael Fassbender. Or are you? Are you an imposter?
I'm a prequel to Michael Fassbender.
Fassbender, are you? Because you've got all this facial hair.
Yeah.
What are you doing with yourself?
What are you doing, man? It's great. Well, I'm just sort of growing this out. You know, it's an experiment.
It's just an experiment and not for a role?
Well,
we don't believe actors have lives.
It is an experiment for a role.
For a role.
I'm growing it out, and I'll do something with it, or see what the.
Or not.
Or not.
Well, maybe you just grew it for this show, which would be great.
Which is exactly what I did.
Okay.
You know, I'm trying to sort of up your mustache by going full beard.
And you did.
Do you think
this mustache is nothing. It's like the opposite of manly. It's not, I mean, but look at who you're playing in this movie. You're this android.
Exactly.
You're this David, with this Peter O'Toole hair.
Yeah.
And no facial hair.
No facial hair whatsoever.
Where did that come from? What was that decision? Where was it drawn
from? To go blonde?
Yeah. Who decided it should be Lawrence of Arabia?
That was in the script. So it was
disappointing. I wanted it to be you so
I know you
bad.
did, and I could have taken it and stolen it, and I was tempted. No, that was always there, and that was something that Ridley said to me. He was like, look, the character is very much fascinated by Lawrence in Lawrence of Arabia, and so I had that on a loop. I studied that. But the idea of sort of touching up the roots, that was my idea. So I was pretty happy that that was in the film, and Ridley is cool like that. I thought there could be maybe a slight sort of vanity to the characters.
So while everybody else who's human on the ship Prometheus is sleeping, your guy David is watching.
Oh, he's wide
Lawrence
awake.
of Arabia for 2 years.
Yeah, basketball, basketball and cycling a bicycle, which is two of his favorite pastimes, and then of course practicing his languages, and then the maintenance of the ship itself. He's kind of like the butler in space, or the housekeeper. So then when all the humans start waking up, it's like they're a bit messy. He's like it's no longer his space.
But he's got this thing that you kind of have, which is like a secret smile.
The secret smile.
It's the secret smile.
I have a secret.
It is. You do. And you saw in that clip where you do that thing where you go like that. It's like, whoa, what is that? It's menacing.
Yeah, it's a tick.
It's a tick.
It's a robot tick.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So is that how would you?
Smile.
It is a secret smile. It's like you know something the rest of us don't know.
Yeah.
It's the secret of
it's
your
when in
career.
doubt, do that. Exactly.
Yeah,
You're like, I've got a secret. I've got a secret.
You're always doing it.
I'm in space. I've got a secret. I'm a robot. That was actually my mantra.
The secret is the robot.
Going into each scene, I was like, I've got a secret. I'm in space. I'm a robot.
But before that, when you were an X-Men, and you're Magneto, and you're doing this...
It was the same thing.
No,
it was
it's
like,
not the same.
I have a secret. I'm a mutant. I'm unhappy.
Unhappy, and not wanting mutants and humans together.
No.
And I don't think David does either.
Do you not?
I don't want to give away, because I think I wanted to trust you so much, like I do in life, and then it always costs me, I always get slapped around.
You get burned, you get burned.
It's just something, it's just not right about it.
There's a certain feeling of violation or something, yeah.
So are you threatened by not giving away anything that's happening in Prometheus to anybody that's just watching this and has no access to a movie
film
theater
itself.
and can't possibly see it. What can you legitimately tell us?
Legitimately?
Legitimately tell us. Before we just go and just let that whole thing go and just talk illegitimacy for the rest of
Well, I think, you know, if you're looking for the meaning to life, you know, the answers, the, you know, why we're here, who created us, this film will give you those answers.
All those answers were there.
All of them.
And yet I'm still thinking about them,
you
even
didn't
after
get them?
seeing the film.
You didn't get them?
I wasn't getting the whole
Well, you got to
answer
go back
the
and see
universe.
again.
That's the
You
trick.
got to go back and see it
People,
again.
you need to see
If you
this
don't get it the
movie
first
more than
time,
once. You're going to get it again later.
Exactly.
Wow, to do it.
Yeah, there's like, there's layers.
I have to bring up the fact that it seems like you're not allowed to tell because people from this, Guy Pearce looked petrified when I asked him to say anything.
That's his general condition.
It was just, he's just petrified of it. Charlize said it was none of my business.
Yeah, that's just rude.
These are the people you work with.
I know.
They're just so mean.
They are mean. And you know, I think they take pleasure in it.
They do.
Actually, I know I take pleasure in it. It's great when you can't say anything.
It is. It just makes for a terrific interview.
Exactly.
It's like,
we
yeah,
can just
I
talk
can't
about
say
other things
anything
like
to do
facial
that.
hair and
facial hair and to
you know,
do
all the
that.
good stuff in life.
Yeah.
You know, but
It's good. What can you say behind your secret smile about this that isn't going to give away the store about Prometheus? That you lived with this character, this android character.
Yes.
I want to know. I want to know this seriously. Otherwise, I'm going to come after you.
Okay.
I'm going to get off of this chair.
What do you want to know?
What? I want to know something nobody knows that you have never expressed. When people chase you on the street and say, "You're David in Prometheus."
Mm-hmm.
What?
Okay. He has a yo-yo.
He has a yo-yo.
Yeah.
A secret yo-yo.
It was never really secret, but it became that. After a while, it became a secret yo-yo. First, it was a public yo-yo, and he didn't really care who saw him with his yo-yo. But then it became very secretive.
And
he's in love
with this yo-yo.
Here, this is a better one. The yo-yo was just a nothing. It was just sort of something to inspire the real thought.
Yeah.
Exactly. He's in love with Dr. Elizabeth Shaw.
So it's robot love.
It's robot love.
It's robot love.
It's just, yeah.
And what, besides Lawrence of Arabia, were your influences on playing him?
There was Greg Louganis was the physicality. I sort of thought.
That's who it was.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. He just sort of came to mind. I was looking for some, you know. I wanted a correct posture, and I wanted something that was seemed to be quite centered. And I always remember Greg Louganis when he was sort of, you know, walking on the high board or you know, on the high block or on the diving board, just sort of, you know, that sort of, I don't know, very focused, yeah, posture. So took that, and it was kind of funny to me as well. Found it kind of funny. So,
but Greg Louganis has never had a secret smile.
No, so I added the secret smile onto the walk.
Excellent.
Took a bit of David Bowie from The Man Who Fell to Earth, a bit of Dirk Bogarde in The Servant.
So no Hal, no 2000.
Hal was there too. Yes, I keep forgetting that. Hal was actually the original when I started playing with the voice, and then one night I was sort of just going over it, and I came up with the South African accent. So I started playing with that idea.
You just came up with the South.
But I ditched it. I ditched it.
That's great.
It didn't work. Yeah. I don't think Ridley was into it. You know, I said to him. I said, you know, I was thinking about, you know, doing sort of Afrikaans. And he was like, and I was like, no, I'm serious, man, I'm serious. And he's like, okay. And I could just see sort of like the fear. He's like, oh God, no, he's not going to go off on some tangent here.
How do I let him down?
Yeah, exactly. How do I deal with this now? I've got enough things on my plate. So anyway, I played around with that for a week and then ditched it. I said to him, I'll just let it go, shall I? And he was like, yes.
And so it became Lawrence of Arabia.
Well,
that little extra.
Yeah, well then the Lawrence sections, you know, obviously he sort of repeats that section in the movie that he's watching. And so there were certain elements of that I wanted to key into. And then also...
What is your Peter O'Toole voice? Can you just conjure it up?
Okay, let's see. The trick, William Potter, is not minding that it hurts. Well, kind of try here. I'm the man that broke the bank in Monte Carlo.
God, we weren't even at the song segment yet. I was so excited to get that extra. You know, that was it. You're always just doing that little bit of extra.
Yeah,
you
just,
know?
you know.
You might be able to get some popcorn after this is over.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so. What kind of penis does David the android have?
Well, I mean...
Did you invent a different one for him?
I didn't really go down that route.
Oh, come on.
No.
You're Michael
I thought of
Fassbender.
more of sort of like a Ken, you know.
As a Ken, so
Yeah.
there was nothing happening.
No.